Pierre Qui Roule, who always looked for a chance for an escape to go outside, stormed in earlier this week. And he said, "I have an idea. I'm going on a quest. I'm going to find some Pouilles, those little creatures who love being part of a story. They are everywhere. And then I'm going to tell them a story. I am so ready to go on a quest. Who is in?" Maurice said, "I think I'm going to stay here and draw outside. But next time, maybe?" Madame Rigolotte said, "Oh, I would love to, but I'm trying to connect with this weird creature. Next time, promise." And Petite Clotilde said, I'm just going to listen to some music for a bit, if you don't mind. But let me know next time you go, okay?" So, with him, he brought 4 little characters that live at the Petit Refuge, that we call the Pouilles. They don't talk much, but they love tagging along and spreading hope everywhere they go. They walked through ivy that looked like a jungle for those little buoys. They climbed trees, and Pierre Qui Roule got really scared because the buoy almost fell down. They took a break on a swing, and finally, when they were almost ready to give up with their quest on finding some Pouilles, they saw them practicing their climbing skills on a climbing wall nearby. "Hooray!" said Pierre Qui Roule. The Pouilles were so excited to learn that they would be part of a story. So they all cuddled, and here is the story Pierre Qui Roule came up with. So Pierre Qui Roule couldn't pick one Pouille, so he decided to build a story with all of them. But he decided that one of them loved one thing. Kind of a silly thing. He decided that one of the Pouilles loved stuff that repeats. Location is important. So where are they? So the story takes place at the community center in Chapel Hill, if you are in North Carolina. And to be more precise, under the picnic table. So Pierre Qui Roule loves going to the community center. And for his story, being under the picnic table sounded like a place to be. I think that he loves when the hand behind him, which is me, has to crawl. So here they were, just hanging out. Pierre Qui Roule had some snacks, some games where they had to jump, then crawl, then jump, then crawl, then... That's right, jump. But then something happened. So if you haven't been to the community center down in Chapel Hill, you have to know that there is a beautiful rose garden with a gate. And on that gate, there is a rose, a red rose, out of metal. But in Pierre Qui Roule's story, that rose started moving. "Hello, little Pouille. I'm so glad you're here." One Pouille said, "Oh, let's get out of here. I'm scared." Another one said, "Oh, this rose is so beautiful." A third Pouille, the one who loves anything that repeats, clapped her hands 3 times, stomped her feet twice, clapped her hands 3 times, and that's right, stomp her feet twice. Pierre Qui Roule said, "Madame Rose, I'm so glad you're out today. Those are some pouilles. Don't move." Which was a bit silly to say because Madame Rose is part of the middle gate, but anyway. "Don't move, we are coming." So it took a bit of time to convince everyone to be on board, but they all left the picnic table, jumping and crawling, so the Pouille who loves pattern could truly have a blast all day long. Now, there was a problem. Madame Rose is pretty high up on the gate, and the Pouille were quite tiny on the ground. Then the first idea came up. They decided to climb on top of each other. One Pouille at the bottom, then another, then, that's right, another one. And they wobbled left, they wobbled right, they wobbled left, they wobbled right, and then everyone on the ground, which made Madame Rose laugh. Alright, second idea, someone spotted a stick nearby. "Let's do like the Olympics," said Pierre Qui Roule. So they took a big run up, planted the stick, jumped, and went over Madame Rose and landed right back on the other side of the gate. They were quiet for a moment. Then they saw a flash of red. I couldn't help but notice. "Do you need a lift?" So the Pouille who loved patterns clapped 3 times, some stamped twice, clapped 3 times, and that's right, stamped twice. And so one by one, the cardinal took them up to see Madame Rose. Up and back, up and back, up and back, until every single Pouille, and Pierre Qui Roule too, had said hello to Madame Rose. Everyone agreed, even the Pouille who was scared at the beginning. That is the best day ever. Everyone seemed quite content. The Pouille couldn't stop talking about the wobbling and the stick flying over the gate and the cardinal and being next to Madame Rose. "Thank you for coming," said Madame Rose. "I just wanted to say hello and finally meet some Pouille." But then, just when they thought it was all over, one Pouille climbed back onto the cardinal's back and did not come down. "Where are you going?" said Pierre Qui Roule. "I don't know," said the Pouille as they were flying away. "I guess we'll find out in our next story."